Good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Well, it looks like we missed all the good price action. We had a pop at 5 o'clock this morning, and then we're grinding all the way until now. This is a pop at 5. How big of a pop was this? 893 to 931. Not much. Nvidia is pushing up right now. Yeah, it is summertime. I figure that we're going to start to get some more movement soon. I don't know how soon will be, but we have to take what the market can give us. Let's see if we break out. I mean, it's technically we are in a descending wedge. If it broke out of that, could be nice. Kind of holding something like that. Unpredictable, low liquidity. We don't have any news coming to the bottom of the hour. The calendar today is pretty soft. We do have the FOMC meeting minutes coming out, but that's... Fed didn't change their tune at all. So that's unfortunate. We don't have anything to trade on that. We do have a 10-year note today, which is a nice fixie. The response to that, checking the bid to cover on the 10-year, will be interesting. I probably won't be here to trade it, though. Just being honest with you. 1 p.m. I don't really want to sit around all day waiting for 1 p.m. You know what I mean? Let's look at old Ripsy's Tradeify stats. And there they are. So we are currently up 12.68 thousand. We've only had one losing trade, but that's because we put on a trade for 5 contracts in one account because it wasn't copying and we had to take it right off. So unfortunately, we got clapped. But we're doing well. We're up 12.68K. I mean, we're doing well. We haven't lost. Thin and thick liquidity. I mean, if we look in the book map right here, do you see how the bubbles are super tiny and it's moving quite a bit? That means it's very thin. There's nothing in the way. How do you explore price? If you want to go down lower in price, you sell. There's people who are in the way of that, in the way of bids. Those bids can be pulled. If those bids are pulled, you'll see what happens like right here. Not a lot of bids in the way moving this price down. In fact, you'll see it gapping down. Look at, there's a bid there at 944 3/4 and the next print is 944. It moved down 3 ticks with no liquidity in the way. Literally zero, nothing. That's a thin market. Does that make sense? Does to me. Microsoft and Meta are running. Running, dude. Microsoft and Meta going ballistic. Microsoft looking to break out. There's 23,000, nothing in the way of it, except for 23,000 itself. I wonder what's gonna happen here. Are we gonna get above 23,000, go for that Monday high up at the 30s? Right now, 23,000s are holding. What's going on in the S&P? 6,300 in the S&Ps is a topside target as well. Meta pulling back, Microsoft pulling back a touch here. There's not that many contracts at 6,300, so I think we will swipe at it. But do we reject on it? That's the question. Microsoft has pulled back, Meta has pulled back. Wonder if 23,000s want to hold. If 6,300 holds, then we go for 6,305. I mean, this could be spicy. 23,000s are currently holding in the NAS. I wonder if 23,000 is going to like hold, and then we go for like 23,030. That could be spicy. Okay, we're at the 20s. Do we get above 20s? Does this thing have more juice in it? There's a lot of people selling at those 20s. If we get up and over those 20s, we can make the trajectory and the excuse to maybe go for those 30s. Depends on if Nvidia pulls back and Microsoft pulls back, this thing can get kind of spicy. I don't like seeing those heavy whips into those 20s and then rejecting, but there are still buyers on the tape and the NAS is still pushing because of Nvidia. So if we can get through this 20 area, I mean, how many sellers are at these 20s? And if they do break out of these 20s, my God, you just see how many sellers are stacked up here. It's crazy. There you go. At those 30s now. Just a little taster. Well, we did board the rocket ship, but not for that much. Really not much. I know, look, I hear what you're saying about the Percy Jackson, but when we get a God candle like that, do you mind if I just jump on the rocket ship for a little bit? Like just for a little bit, you know what I mean? Just like a tiny taster. A tiny Tim taster of tickled goodness here. Our stop is at 23,020 and a quarter. You know, sometimes I want to launch a little bit of my own rocket here. Oh, is that 7,000 on the print? You know what we could do? We could do the old feather out trick. Watch this. 2 out, boop, boop, boop. 2 out. Oh, she wants it, doesn't she? Right there into that. 2 more out. We got 1 as a runner, and we can move the stop up right there, top of that wick there. So we're guaranteed $100 more. We have realized $7,100 in the profit, though, mind you. And yes, before you ask, is that Rips? Is that your real? It is. There's a real deal account right here. This is called Amp Live. There's a real deal Holyfield account. Oh, hey, look at that. We crossed 255,000. By the way, we did it. We did it, champs. Raise your hand by pressing a W in chat if you caught the longs. Oh, then we're stopped out. There we go. So we made $7,295. It's not a lot, but hey, I'll take it. That was like about 5 minutes of breathtaking work. But if you did catch that to the long side, please do me a favor, drop a W in chat. By the way, was that call out quite clear? If we hold 23,000, boy, I hope we get these 20s. If 20s don't crack, we're gonna get out of this thing. If 20s don't crack, we're looking for 30. Can I be any stronger than, I mean, I don't wanna hold your hand. I don't wanna give you a signal. But what I do wanna do is I wanna give you a little wax on and a little wax off. A little wax on and a wax off. You see what I'm saying? Just a little wax on and wax off. That's what we're here for. Because if I don't teach you how to fish, one day you're gonna show up and the boat's not gonna be there. You see what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? You get me? Can I show the visuals of what the short squeeze looks like? I would love to do that for you. Thank you for asking. Good question. Let's look together. So what does a short squeeze look like? It looks like constantly moving bids higher. Now, if you look at the price action here, what do you see underneath? Do you see a pattern of bids moving higher underneath the price action? Okay, so that's sign number one. Sign number two is that when you have forceful pushes off the open, what is going to happen to that is people are going to start to short into that. So imagine there's going to be a very big teachable moment. And this is going to be only about order flow. So if you don't like order flow, go watch another stream. Teachable moment here. Do you see these big green bubbles on the side of the pie chart here? We have red bubbles, we have green bubbles. The green bubbles are consuming the red area. We have more green than we have red. Here's the open, right? We can see this. This is 9:30. That's the market open. Do you see how these bubbles are consumed? By mostly, when I say thicker offers, this is what we're talking about. That is a thick offer, right? And if we consolidate these bubbles even more and we dilate the time, you can see it's awfully thick to the top side. Now, let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you this. If I am selling short into this position, off the open, I'm one of these players here, 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 and I'm heavily net short. What does that mean as the market goes higher? Does my position go up in value or does my position go lower in value? My position goes lower in value because I'm short. I'm net short. So as the market opens up, I'm in a position where I'm building into a short. I didn't do this, but I'm saying let's imagine ourselves as the players who got clapped and let's find out why. So as you have these thicker offers, what I'm imagining is somebody that is sitting there and filling a bag full of balloons full of helium. They're filling this bag full of balloons of helium, right? Because they're short and that's what they have, okay? And as they fill those bags of helium, what's gonna happen is that those bags are gonna push higher and higher because the weight on that is getting extensively thick in the sense that their value of their position is slowly going down or rapidly going down as the market is squeezing up. The only way that they can get out of this position is to send the market higher. So as on that open, right, I entered in right around, we were at 990, right? That is right around on this first pullback. So what I'm doing is one of two things. Number one, I'm watching to see, do we have thicker offers off the open and are we pushing into it? If we have thick offers and we are pushing into it, but there is enough rejection where the thicker offers is, which is like what we saw at those 20s, that thickness is holding the market back, then we start to be concerned. We say, well, there's probably not an open trade for us. Now, because we're pushing through that liquidity so heavily, I am imagining that we have these players that are sitting there and they're thinking to themselves, oh, I might be right? Technical terms, right? We can get that as a chapter 3 technical term. Holy I might be right? Technical term. As we're going up, my first inclination on that tape is one single thing only. Give me a first pullback, even if it's a micro pullback, because then with my real account, I can add liquidity into that, be more bids that are chasing this market up and start really putting the pressure on those shorts. Now watch what happens. We get a micro pullback and we don't have a lot of bids, right? So that is a slight concern that we don't have very, very thick bids. But what we do have is an off and running market and all of these players that are short have not been filled. So it's a two-sided sword here. Because we don't see thick bids, we know what? Are those players right here still riding, yes or no? Because we don't have thick bids, it's a double-edged sword. It might look like it's weak, but what just did the market give us through that MGI? What the market just told us is that those puppy doggers are still holding their positions. And that gives us moon juice to the top side where we can ride the rocket, right? If we had thick bids, then we have to be concerned that these players right here have then dumped their position because they can get out by being on the bid. Because we didn't have thick bids, we now have moon juice to ride. So we get into that position, and then we start to watch for where that first resistance is. That first resistance was not at 23,000. That's a key level, very strong. No bids getting in the way, or sorry, no offers getting in the way of that. As we broke out of 23,000, obviously we have people going for the reshort. Again, we are granted that market generated information of what? We have lack of players on the bid side, which means that more players are still stuck. More players are still stuck. And now look, this is the first revelation that we have players. This is the second ad. We have revelation of more players that are getting out of their position that were stuck long because we have thicker bids. We go through that, we start to look for a bottom. Once that starts to bottom out, we see, do we have thicker offers? We do not. We buy into that. And then the rest is just into that 23,020. That's where we had that first revelation where it was, oh my goodness, we're running into thicker offers. There are players that are trying to get out. It's a mix of early longs from the pre-market, and it's also people who are buying into that liquidity because they were short. Now, if we hold those 20s, we look for 30s as a top side target. And that's all we do. There we go. The key area is just right off the open, watching how thick those players are into that move. And again, look at this is more shorts that are just getting clapped in this. And there's still very strong bidders on this tape. Microsoft and Meta both spiking as well. So on tape like this, if you're still looking to get long, you're not looking for pullbacks, you're looking for micro pullbacks. Micro pullbacks will give you a little bit of juice. Let's see if we can catch a micro pullback on Tradeify. Let's see what we can do here. A bit of a micro pullback on Tradeify. I mean, we are going to probably run out of steam. We do have some liquidity above us at 63.14, 63.20 in the S&Ps. We are probably going to sweep up at those current year highs. Let's see if we get a little bit of a pullback that we can get into now. Short or long? I think we should get it sorted before we think about going long. Back in, running for these 88 highs. We'll add below 75 if we get the opportunity. 63.14 is the target to the top side in the S&Ps still. Lower end of this volume shelf is sitting here at 77, so that holding is quite strong. Pullback in the S&Ps like 6310 would be lovely, but I don't think we're gonna get it. We're swiping up towards 95 here now. I think that we will barrel into these hundies, little hundy bundies. I do want to kind of add on a pullback here if we can get it. 6315 has some liquidity as well. Watching. 85s are kind of being held up. See if we can revisit and retake the 90s to the top side here, and then perchance go ramaging up at these hundreds. We're still holding above 164.2 in NVIDIA. Microsoft still pushing NVIDIA, and Meta all still pushing here. Tesla kind of limp. Amazon good. Google pulling back slightly, ever so slightly. Liquidity is drying up a little bit here. Okay, reclaim of 90s here. Didn't happen. We got to get up and over those 90s. They are still propping this up. I'm going to add right here for a break of 90s. Looking for 95s to trade here. Yeah, they are grabbing that liquidity. So there are some players that are still trapped here, which I like to see. So push above these 90s should bring us right back towards that 96 liquidity. But we have to have that strong push. We might have to refresh liquidity a little bit lower here. Let's see here at these 80s. This is right at the point of control of this last extension, mind you. We should trade right back into these 90s and swipe up at this 90 player here. We're doing it on lower liquidity, so it does make it more difficult. Every single time that we refresh lower, we are building liquidity for a much higher position. So like right here, building into this liquidity. Watching here at these 80s now. Might have to be a little bit tactful in this because we are running out of liquidity here a little bit. So watching here at 85, can we swipe up at 85 and bring us that little pop to 90 that we're looking for? A lot of offers coming in and nobody swiping it. With the S&Ps took out 63.08, probably coincide with around 60s in the NAS here. Just watching, they're still coming out 85. Watch if we get this pop to 90 though. Should be able, yeah, there's a huge player front running those 90s right now, which is kind of annoying. Okay, there we go. Into that 90 area. Okay, now we see if we get this squeeze up through 95. Peeling one more out, leaving one as a runner. The S&Ps are lagging so much. If the S&Ps started to get their act together, we would see 63.15 starting to trade on a jiffy here. Hack2R says long in the top. Why? Because I'm a better trader than you. And that's just a fact. I'm not sure about the technical term. We got stopped out. But because we just made, I don't know, $2,500 doing it, and we can manage a position by doing that.